The skies of Ember Reach were alive with light. Not the gentle shimmer of its twin moons, but the violent brilliance of plasma bombardment. From orbit, the Vrathal watched their warships rain destruction upon the human colony. "Efficient," said Admiral Koresh, his mandibles clicking in satisfaction as the colony's atmosphere boiled. They begged for mercy. How quaint. Below, the oceans turned to steam. Cities, fragile outposts of humanity's hope, dissolved in fire. For years, Ember Reach had been a symbol of cooperation, a neutral trade hub between humanity and dozens of alien species. A place of peace. The Vrathal didn't care. When human negotiators refused to surrender mining rights to the newly discovered element Quarium, Koresh declared it an insult to his species' divine destiny. He ordered the attack personally. The bombardment lasted 12 hours. By the end, nothing lived on Ember Reach. A single human ship, the Sagan's Hope, tried to flee the inferno. Koresh allowed it to escape, laughing. "Let them carry the tale back to their leaders," he said. "Let them weep. Let them know who rules the stars." The Vrathal fleet turned from the burning world, engines flaring with triumph. The Admiral's flagship, the Vakor Dominion, transmitted the final message into the void. Humanity refused to kneel. Now they no longer have knees. And so, the galaxy watched the ashes of Ember Reach drift into silence. They thought it ended there. They were wrong. The mockery of the victors. 2 weeks later, the Vrathal High Council gathered on their throne world of Hekor Prime. News feeds played endless footage of the colony's annihilation, commentary filled with arrogance and derision. "Humans are soft," said Counselor Zekra. "Their emotions make them weak. They will mourn, then forget. They lack the will for vengeance," added another. "They are primitive, a scattered species clinging to borrowed technology." Laughter echoed through the chamber. Across the galaxy, other empires nodded in agreement. Humanity, though ambitious, had always been restrained, diplomatic, predictable. They built, explored, and dreamed, but they did not avenge. At least, that was what the galaxy had decided. The Vrathal broadcasted a trophy parade, a procession of human artifacts taken from Ember Reach. A child's doll, scorched and cracked, hung from a pike. "Let this be the reminder," Koresh declared before the crowds. "Defy us, and your worlds will burn the same." Billions of Vrathal cheered. Far away, in the Sol system, no cheers came, only silence. In the dark halls beneath Earth's lunar command, human leaders watched the footage, the doll, the laughter, the smoke. No words were spoken, only orders. The silence before the fire. For a month, the galaxy heard nothing from humanity. No statements, no transmissions, no demands. Trade routes with Earth went eerily quiet. Human diplomats vanished from alien courts. The Terran Alliance closed its borders, citing security measures. The silence unnerved even the boldest species. Koresh, in his arrogance, took it as a sign of surrender. "They hide," he scoffed. "They have accepted their place beneath us." But deep in the shadow of Luna, the silence was not submission. It was preparation. Within the black vaults of the Terran Strategic Command, fleets that had never been acknowledged publicly were awakened. Ships built in secret, black-hulled leviathans whose existence was denied by every government, came online. The Ares Fleet, the Judicator Line, the Sol Dominion Armada. And then there were the soldiers, the Titanborn, genetically perfected, cybernetically enhanced, each a weapon in human form. They had not seen deployment since the siege of Mars generations ago. Now they were called again, in every shipyard. The old banners were raised, black cloth marked with a single phrase, stitched in silver. "We do not forgive. We do not forget." The galaxy began to whisper. What are the humans building? Why are their relay stations going dark? Why are their fleets missing from known sectors? Then came the first sign, faint but unmistakable. A single human transmission, carried across the old beacon channels, decrypted by every listening race. "For every tear you made us shed, a world will weep in flame." The message was unsigned, but everyone knew. The stars tremble. The first retaliatory strike came without warning. The Vrathal colony on Dronith 7th, a planet home to 8 million, vanished. Not attacked, erased. Satellites recorded a single blinding flash before all sensors failed. When the light faded, only glass remained where oceans once were. Minutes later, every major Vrathal communication array went offline. Their fleet beacons went dark. The humans had come. In the void beyond Hekor Prime, Vrathal patrols detected movement. Shadows that blocked the stars. Hundreds of contacts. Thousands. The fleet admiral panicked. "Identify them!" No answer came. Then the Ares appeared, a dreadnought larger than any known vessel. Its hull black as obsidian, engines silent. Its name burned across the stars in crimson light. TSS Vengeance. From its command bridge, Admiral Soranguyan looked upon the enemy world. Her voice, calm and cold, carried through the galactic channels. "This is Terran Strategic Command. You struck first. You killed our people. You mocked our dead. Now we answer." The fleet opened fire. Human kinetic weapons, rods of tungsten the size of towers, fell from orbit. No shield stopped them. No armor withstood them. Each impact unleashed the force of a small sun. Cities evaporated. Continents burned. Koresh's fleet attempted to fight back, but their energy weapons glanced harmlessly off Terran armor. Composite materials engineered to drink heat and scatter energy. The humans did not return fire immediately. They waited, letting the Vrathal see their futility. Then, they struck, all at once. The Ares fleet surrounded Hekor Prime, the planet's orbit filled with Terran warships, black silhouettes against the crimson of its dying sun. From every ship came the same transmission, "For Ember Reach." Then came the light. The fire rises. The bombardment of Hekor Prime lasted 3 days. On the first day, the orbital defense grid fell. The second day, the atmosphere burned. By the third, the planet cracked open. Human ships moved methodically, striking command centers, supply depots, then population zones. There was no emotion, only precision. The Vrathal begged for parley. They offered tribute, apology, surrender. Humanity did not respond. They remembered. The alien broadcasts that once mocked humanity now carried screams and static. Empires that had laughed at Earth's restraint now watched in terror. Single Fleet, humanity's vengeance, made manifest, was dismantling an empire that had ruled for centuries. The galaxy's historians would later say that the sound of Terran railguns was the sound of judgment itself. When the fires faded, the once golden spires of Hekor Prime lay buried beneath molten stone. Admiral Koresh was captured alive. The TSS Vengeance broadcast his trial across the known galaxy. No words were shouted. No threats made. Soranguyan simply showed him the images of Ember Reach, the children, the smoke, the doll. "Do you remember this?" she asked. Koresh trembled. We thought you were weak." Nguyen's eyes were steel. "You mistook mercy for weakness. That was your last mistake." The broadcast ended with Koresh's execution. A single plasma bolt through the skull. No cheer followed. No celebration, just silence. Ashes and echoes. When the fires cooled, the Terran fleet did not stay. They left the ruins behind, a warning carved into stone and shadow. The message they transmitted to the galaxy was brief, written in every major language. Humanity does not seek war, but if you bring it to us, you will choke on the ashes of your arrogance. For months after, no ship dared approach Sol space. Trade routes rerouted to avoid even human border patrols. Diplomatic envoys requested peace pacts. Humanity ignored them all. The Vrathal Empire ceased to exist. Its colonies fell into chaos. Refugees told stories of black ships that appeared from nowhere, of soldiers without faces, of entire cities turned to dust. Children whispered the phrase, "the fire from Sol." Among alien scholars, new proverbs emerged. To see Earth weep is to see your doom approach. Humanity forgives slowly and burns completely. On the remnants of Ember Reach, survivors, those who had been off-world during the attack, returned to rebuild. They found the ground scorched but fertile once more. In the sky, Terran ships hovered, watching silently, guarding what remained. A monument was raised, a statue of a human woman holding a torch. Beneath it, a plaque bore the names of the fallen, and below that, an inscription. They thought our tears were weakness. They did not see the fire within. The whispered dread years passed. The galaxy rebuilt. Treaties were rewritten. Every major empire placed humanity at the top of their diplomatic chain. Not out of respect, but fear. No one attacked Terran vessels again. No one mocked human emotion, because they remembered. They remembered the silence before the retaliation. The fleets that came without warning. The vengeance that burned brighter than any star. In the farthest corners of space, smugglers and traders told stories, always in hushed voices. "They say the humans still watch," one would whisper. "They've built listening stations on every border world. If another Ember Reach happens, Another would shiver. Then we'll see the fire rise again. And somewhere beyond the veil of stars, the TSS Vengeance drifted through the void. Silent, eternal, its engines cold but ready. Its hull bore no markings except a single phrase, etched into the black metal: never provoke Earth again. The galaxy would never forget what it had witnessed, because when the aliens saw humanity weep, they did not see defeat.